said, uh, we in a lot of times in our life, it could be something to do with university, it could be something else entirely. You will have to do some sort of speech or speaking. It could be, like Rachel said, it could be you doing a presentation at university, or you could be talking to a lecturer, or maybe you are doing, let's say, maybe you're like me, you're going to do a workshop like me. So, like all those things, they require some sort of preparation. You will have at least a day, or you will have at least an hour to think about what you're going to say. And even that small time that you have, if you use it properly, will put you very much ahead and will make you be able to do a really good speech or hold a really good and effective conversation or simply achieve whatever goal you have. Okay. So today, that's what we'll be talking about. I'm not going to be able to give you a list and say, if you are going to meet a lecturer, these are the three things you should say. If you are going to talk to your potential crush, these are the three things you say. I can't give you a list like that, but I can give you the skills that will help you to make that kind of list when it's necessary to do that. Okay. So first, we'll go into a small interactive activity. I think that's good because it's raining right now, and it's the kind of climate that makes you want to sleep. So we'll just shake people up a little bit. I think that's the best thing to do. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. Right. So on this screen, we have two topics. These are, well, two questions, let's say. We have two questions on this slide, and they're very easy questions. And I'd like you guys to volunteer and share a few thoughts about what you think. You can choose either question. You can talk about what your last day at school was like, or you can talk about the tastiest meal you've ever had. I think everyone has a lot to say on both topics. So you can choose one topic and you can share a few thoughts. You don't have to do like a very long speech. It's not even a speech. It's just sharing a few thoughts. So yeah, volunteers, you can simply unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand, and I will give you the chance. Okay. So right now you don't have to like think deeply about anything. Just share what comes to your mind. Okay, right, Saranka. So we have somebody here, Saranka. Go ahead. What question would you like to talk about?
So I'll talk about the first topic, the one last day of school. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
So the school days are like still the favorite days of my life, and I still miss my school days a lot. And yeah, the last days of school was a bit sad actually because we have made a lot of memories there for almost 13 years. We've met a lot of friends and met a lot of nice people. Met teachers who have guided us throughout. And just saying goodbye to all of this was a bit sad and traumatic actually. And then I was so feeling so overwhelmed and felt a lot of gratitude towards the school for what it has done for all of us because it's the place that guided us to be who we are today. So that was a bit of a sad and very overwhelming kind of experience that I have with the last day of school. So yeah, over to you, Gv.Ravisha.
Okay. Thank you so much, Saranka. So I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. I can see from the chat that facial account, which is very characteristic. But yeah, thank you, Saranka. I think a lot of people can relate to what you said. And we have another volunteer, Situ. What would you like to share your thoughts about?
Yeah, hi. I'm Situm, and I would like to talk about how my last day in school was like. Um,
Okay, go ahead.
so, yeah. So this was during COVID, so our school did not have a very good attendance per se, because like everybody was staying home. Uh, COVID was over, but people did not attend school as they would have otherwise. So it was mostly me and just this one friend who came to school. So like from the whole of science section, maths and say science, biology. So he was from biology section and I was from the math section. So we two were the only guys from the whole science section. And the last day, we just came as usual, and we just hung around a bit. And at 1:30, the school been ran, and we didn't go home. We stayed around until like 4 or 5. The school was kind of visited at the time in the ground, but so yeah, we went around, took a bunch of photos. Didn't really feel sad to be honest, but um, excuse me, I'm getting cold. But yeah, I didn't really
Yes.
feel sad per se, but um, kind of felt empowering. I know it's weird, but like because me and my friend, his name is Shashika, we have been together since grade 6, and now it's the last day of school, so we were like we have seen through it, huh? Like we kind of feel like you know the only survivors from a battle or something, so it felt cool. So we took some pictures because my school is very dear to me. I love my school. um yeah, it felt emotional, but in a good way. And I still visit my school once in a while when I can. So yeah, that was like that.
Okay, thank you, Sidhu. So I remember that even in our school on our last day, we bought cameras and took photos. Like the thing was, we weren't actually allowed to bring them, so we kind of smuggled them in, and we thought, okay, who cares? This is the last day of school, and we just took it out in like public, and no one actually blamed us or anything. I think they also knew that it wasn't worth blaming. We weren't ever going to come to school again as students. So yeah, it was a kind of rebellious and kind of nice thing. So it was lovely. So I can relate what you felt, but I feel really sorry for you guys because if you were having your last day at school during COVID, that just sucks. I'm really happy that that didn't happen to me. So yeah, so thank you so much, Situ. And okay, we have more volunteers. Iran, what would you like to share your thoughts about?
I would like to share some thoughts about the same topic, last day of school. Am I
Okay.
audible enough?
Yes, yes, you are.
Uh, I also, after I'm going to talk about the last day of school, not like after the exam advanced level. So when you talk about last day of school, after actually the quarantine period, most of math stream friends of our class didn't come to school that day. So uh, I probably felt the same. It's a melancholic type situation because most classmates didn't show up to school. They were doing online classes and everything. There are like only, if I remember correctly, or 10 or something students. So we mostly hang out with the commerce section students. They are my friends from the grade 6. And the most memorable thing about that day, we played some football and we signed our shirts with marker pen. And uh, that was the incident I remember mostly. But we met our classmates on the last day after the exam, probably after second chemistry paper, I think. That day we talked to our classmates, science and bio biology friends, but that was not the last day of school actually. Uh, so I mostly want to talk about that situation about the signing thing and played football is the memorable
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, that's it.
that is very memorable, Iran. Thank you so much. I mean, like, yeah, that is so cool. I mean, it's not like you'll be wearing your uniform again. So
Yes.
good way to go. Okay, so we'll have one last volunteer, and that's going to be Vishwa. What would you like to share with us about?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I would like to talk about my last day of school as well. So, actually, for me, I don't consider the last day of A levels as my last day of school. More than that, my last day of O levels felt a bit more. It was more emotional, and it had much more feeling than the last day of A levels. So, just like Situm said, our last day was during COVID, and it happened really fast, and there was no time to prepare anything, any events, or like any shining of shirts or anything. So I still remember that day we had a after school class for maths to cover our O-level syllabus, and suddenly we got the news that schools were closing down, and we knew then and there that if schools are closing down because of COVID, we won't be able to meet up again or do anything. So even then, most of our class was not attending to those after school classes. And the feelings we felt that moment, it's hard to put into words. We were like so emotional, and we had so many regrets because there was so many stuff that we were planning on doing on our actual last day, but we weren't able to do any of it. And yeah, so most of us were crying, and some of us were like in disbelief. We were trying to like convince ourselves that this is only temporary. In like a week or two, we'd be back to school. But a few of us, me included, knew that that wouldn't be the case, and that even if schools reopen, it would be a whole different situation, and that a huge chunk of our school lives were taken from us because of this. So for us, it was most like really sad because we came from different places and we wouldn't be able to meet each other ever again. Not ever again, but for the most part. So yeah, that was how my last day of school was like.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm just beginning to realize like that effect of COVID, because I hadn't considered about that. As I hadn't really given any thought about how it must have felt for you to know that you might not be going to school for a very long time. So yes, it's a very new aspect for me to consider, and it makes me feel a little old as well. Either way, so thank you, Visha. You did really good. So we had 4 volunteers now. Thank you, all 4 of you. And I'm just going to like, I hope everybody was listening clearly to what each of them spoke about. And I'll just contrast these 4 speakers and tell you the really good things that each of them did, because all 4 of them are very good. And all 4 of them, fortunately for me, did something really good that I can talk to you about, which will pretty much cover what I have to say today. Okay. So I'm first going to start with Gavelier. Sorry, we're going to start with Situm. So Situm, what really got me was you started talking about the actual day in your speech. Okay. So now when Saranka spoke, he spoke about the emotions surrounding that day. He talked about how he felt about his school, about his friends and his teachers, and how he felt about leaving school. So Saranka's thoughts are mostly about that, right? But when it came to Situm, he actually talked about the day. Saranka talked about what he felt about the incidents revolving around the day. Okay, so what I'm trying to highlight is when you are talking about something, when you're talking about a topic, you can aim to prioritize a specific thought, and what that thought is up to you, and you need to choose the main and important point that you get across to your audience. Okay, so those two speeches, those two sets of thoughts, I think shows that pretty well. And then Iran, I think he also did a great job. So he did a really interesting technique to highlight his most important point. So he spoke on the topic, he answered the question very clearly, but he also made sure that us as the audience would really understand what were the main things that he wanted to say. So when he spoke about, so if you remember, Iran was speaking about the way they played football and signed their shirts and met with their grade 6 friends in commerce. So for him, on the last day of school, these were the most interesting and things that happened that he felt the strongest. And in his speech, he made sure that us as the audience, that we would feel those things the strongest as well. And when he finished, before finishing, he said, so that's what I want to talk about. The way we signed the shirts and we played football, those were the most memorable things for me. So he highlighted that again. So it was very easy for me when I thought about Iran's speech, that I would remember those two things very clearly. Those were the two things that he wanted us to remember, and I would remember those things. So that's also a very important technique and thing to consider, because if you're talking to a person, it's because you want something from them, right? So I want you guys to listen to me and learn something from this. If you're talking to a lecturer, you're maybe you are trying to get excuse for missing a lecture. Maybe you're trying to persuade them to extend a deadline or something like that. And so there are different reasons why we talk to people, why we have these conversations, and there's always something that you want to achieve. So make sure you stress that point to that person or that audience. Okay. And so next, finally, Vishwa spoke, and I want to highlight what he did was he had another technique that was very important to highlight what he said, and that was to use the difference. He took two scenarios and he compared them. So he talked about his last day at his school in O levels, and he also mentioned his last day of A levels. And he said that what felt most to him, what was more emotional to him, was his last day at O levels, right? So he was very opinionated, and he made us feel that as well. So again, that's a very good way of making us understand, making us get the point that he wants to say. So I hope that made some sense. So those were these some techniques that these four guys used. They probably didn't know what they did, but I want you guys to just notice those differences and use them when you are speaking as well. Okay. So now, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. Right. So these are 4 questions, 4 points that I want you to consider when you are going to talk to someone, or when you're going to do a presentation, or face an interview, or anything like that. So I've written them as 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself. And if you think about the 4 speakers who spoke, you will realize that without thinking even, they use some of these points. Okay. So the first point you need to ask yourself, the first question that you need to ask yourself is, why am I here? Why am I here? And what do I want to achieve? Right. So like I mentioned earlier, whenever we are speaking to someone or to a group of people, We want to achieve something. We want them to do something for us. We want to convince them. We want to, get an idea across to them. Something like that. We always have something that we want to achieve. And that should be at the very front of your mind. Whatever you say, you need to think, is this thing that I am saying beneficial to get my point across? Okay, so that's one of the most important things. And the next thing you consider is, who is my audience? That is also very important. So for example, let's say that you are doing a workshop on, you're doing some sort of speech for World Environmental Day, okay? And what happens if you go and speak about things like soil moisture and pH levels and parts per million air pollution and things like that to a bunch of grade 5 students? That's not going to work, right? You can't talk like that to some kids in grade 5. They're not going to understand anything. So if you were talking about that to some kids, you would use some very basic concepts and tell them in a way that they can understand. You would meet them at their level, right? That is how you be a considerate speaker and how you get your idea across. So maybe you could tell them about, plants, when they get sunlight, they absorb it, they do something called photosynthesis, and they produce energy, and like that, you would tell things to them in a very basic manner, and then those kids would understand your point, right? But consider if you were speaking, let's say, to your lecturer, you wouldn't go and talk to them like that, right? Then you would meet them at their level. So always consider who your audience is. That's very important. So that's the second point that I want you guys to consider. And then the third point is, what are the most important things that I have to say? So now, for example, if you are doing a presentation, let's say in university, if you're doing a presentation and you have made your slides properly, the most important things you have to say will definitely be on your slides. Okay, that's what's happening here. I have the most important things I have to say on this slide. So because of that, I'm not going to need to look at a paper or anything. That's also a pretty good technique to use in university, by the way, when you're doing presentations. Just a side note. So always remember the main things that you want to convey. So in the first question, I'm asking you to think about your message, the overall message. But when you think about the most important things, you break down that message into some crucial core points. And you need to make sure that you deliver each and every one of them. Okay? You don't have to make a very long list of like 10, 15 things. It's just a short list that you somehow need to convey within your allotted time. Okay? That's also very important, because if you don't convey your whole message, your audience might misinterpret what you're saying, or they might, you might not be able to achieve your purpose. That's what's going to happen. So that's something that we need to consider as well. And the last thing is, what structure will I follow? Okay, having a structure to your speech or whatever conversation, whatever you're doing, having a structure is very important. And when we look back, if we look back and think about Selanka's speech, I saw something about, I realized that he had a very good structure. So he first talked about the things that he did in school. He talked about the feelings that he had at school. And then he talked about the feelings he had during his last day of school. So like that, he had a structure. Because he had a structure, as an audience, we are able to understand him a little more easily. Whenever you have a structure and you present it to an audience, they will find it that it is easy to follow. So for example, whenever you are doing a presentation or a speech, it's very important to come and say to your audience and let them know, hi, today I will be telling you these things. These things are what I'm going to tell you today. When you tell that to them, and you're progressing through your conversation, they will very quickly latch onto the important points. Okay, so that's also very important. It's extremely important and to remember. Okay, so these points are going to be very helpful if you're facing an interview, if you're doing a presentation at university. These are extremely important, so remember these guys. And another really great thing about having structure is that, like Facial said, sometimes when we speak, we start to ramble. We say things that don't really need to be said. We waste time. We just say things that don't really achieve our point, right? So if you have a good structure, you are not going to ramble. And another great thing is, because of your good structure, you will be able to manage your time very effectively. So that's also really important, because let's say let's say
Excuse
that
me.
you are taking
Yes.
an important.
Your mic
Yeah.
is muted.
Am I not audible?
You are audible, Ravisha.
You are not audible enough. Audible.
Okay. Okay, sure. Give me one moment. I'll just disconnect my headphones then. Okay, how about now? Is it better?
Yes, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So if there's an issue, let me know, okay? Okay, so we were talking about the last point, about the structure. The structure is very helpful for you to manage your time as well. Because if you, let's say you are going to have a meeting with a very important person, they are very important, they are very busy, so they tell you, okay, I have 10 minutes, that's all I can give you. So if you don't manage to convey your point within those 10 minutes, you're not going to achieve what you wanted to, right? So because of that, structure is really important. So those are the 4 points that I want you guys to remember. And now we will put these 4 points into practice, okay? We're going to do a small interactive activity. And can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. This is going to be fun. I want you guys to talk, right? So what we're going to be doing here is that I want you guys to imagine that you are trying to get a job and you need to convince me. So I am the person who will give you the job. So I want you to talk to me and convince me that you are the best person to hire for the job. Okay? So, and I'm going to give you a structure, because I told you that having a structure was really important. So I'm going to give you a structure as well. And the structure is just going to be 3 points. Okay? You don't have to speak a lot here. It's okay if you speak 3 sentences even. The structure is, you need to tell me who you are. You need to tell me who you are. You need to tell me why you are applying for this job. Okay? Why are you applying for this job? And the third point is, what are your skills and your past experience? Sorry. Okay? 3 things: who you are, why you are applying, and your skills and past experiences. Okay? So just to make things easier, I am going to type that in the chat. And okay. So guys, I have a list of jobs here. These are the kind of jobs where whatever degree you're doing and whichever faculty you're in is not going to matter. So I want you to look at the list of jobs. You can choose your favorite job. Okay, work-life balance is very important. You can choose your favorite job, and using the structure that I gave you, I want you to tell me why I should hire you. Just pitch yourself to me, okay? And yeah. Okay. So I put the questions into the chat as well. And that is going to be the structure you follow. Okay. You don't have to do long speeches that, stretch to minutes and minutes. Just make sure, choose your favorite job and do a small speech, do a small sharing of thoughts based on this structure. Okay, that's the important thing. I want you to structure what you say. And yeah, you guys can go ahead now. I'll take up the participants list. And yeah, okay, volunteers, you can raise your hand and you guys can start speaking now. I'm looking forward to hear what you guys have to say. Okay. Let's see. And don't be afraid, guys. Okay. And another interesting thing. So, like I said, our first thing in the structure was who you are. So I know you guys did the self-introductions, so it's not going to be hard. All right, we have volunteers. So Situ, you can go first, and I'll take the guys in the order that you volunteer. Situ, what's the job you're applying for?
I'm applying for the post of SOX parent specialist.
Okay. So go ahead.
I'm Situm Tatsukosatage. I'm from Bangalore and currently studying in University of Ruhuna, Faculty of Engineering. And I'm applying for the post of software specialist because I love socks. You would want to know why I would love socks, but uh, to be honest, I'm a sock connoisseur. Knitting, woven, fabric, uh, polyester. I love all kinds of socks, from black to white to colors intermediate to rainbow colors. So I'm a fan of socks. I have been a fan of socks since I was 2 years old, which means I have been a sock connoisseur for 20 years to this day. So I think I have the ability to identify socks with my with my eyes in a blindfold. I know I'm passionate about socks that much, so I think I'm a very good candidate to fill this post. And to be frank, I have an obsession with socks. I wash my socks every day. I hang them up in front of my bed so I can see them first thing in the morning when I wake up. That much is the passion I have for socks. So I think you will have a good employee in me, choosing me for this post. That's all I got to say. So yeah, here's socks.
Okay, thank you, Situ. So that was really great. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. Okay. So sock connoisseur. Oh my God, that is so funny. I didn't expect anything so hilarious, but thank you so much, Situ. So one thing to consider, okay? For most of your speech, you talked about why you were passionate about socks, right? I think as if I was hiring you, I would have liked to hear more about why you would be a good person to pair my socks, okay? Because the job is to not just appreciate them, it's to pair them. So maybe I would have talked about, I would have probably said, have you ever woken up in a rush and been unable to find a matching pair of socks? I can help you with that. So something on that lines, right? Because you want to highlight, the most important thing is highlighting your skill in relation to what you will be doing in that job, right? But either way, you did a really great job, Situ. So thank you so much. And next volunteer is going to be Inoshan and Prasad. Okay, we have a duo. Okay, what job will you be applying for?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am Inoshan, and I would like to apply for group project conflict mediator.
Okay.
Because I like to do group works rather than the individual works, because I think when we are doing it as a group, we can do anything easily, and and achieve many targets, I think. And also, I work as a groups in I work in many groups during my school times, and also in actually we were having the projects every 1 month. Like now also we have a group project, so we also have many conflicts. It means basically when we are talking when we are from the beginning, when we are selecting the topic for our project, we have conflict. Everyone has many ideas, so we want to move that. So from that, I learned many things. Also, I think most of the conflicts are based on the language, because when we are trying to say something in other language, that meaning will be different. So I think I am fluent in 3 languages, so I can be a good person for this job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Inisha. That was really good, right? So you improved on what I told Situ. So you targeted more. You spoke more about your skill in your job, right? You talked about you being trilingual and how you felt that most conflicts happen because people weren't able to maybe convey their ideas in the way that they wanted to. So that was really good. You did the job in a very good way. And then, so from innovation, from your speech, what I'm going to highlight is, yes, you did target the topic. You targeted the topic very well. But if I timed your speech, for example, if I timed your speech, I'm pretty sure that over 60% of it would be you talking about group projects, and less than 40% you would be talking about why you were good and your past experience. So again, when you move back, that's what I want to highlight is about time management. Make sure that you have the most optimal time to speak about the most important thing you're speaking about, okay? But great job, Vinushan. You did really well as well. And okay, next we have Yasinta. By the way, don't we have any girls?
I hope it's okay that I turn on my camera.
Sure,
not,
that's great.
okay. The name's Jacinda. I was initially gonna go with sock parent specialist, but Situm here beat me to it. So I'll be going with the emoji translator role instead. Because I believe that I do have a skill when it comes to translating emojis. Like if you need your grandma's text translated so that she can better understand what you're saying, I'll be there for the low price of $3 an emoji. So I'm putting my sales pitch out here. So if anyone's willing to buy, I'm on offer. And if by accident you send your CEO a skull emoji saying that you can't get your project completed by this weekend, so I'll be there to translate that for you. So I hope I made a good enough sales pitch like you asked for. And I'll be leaving it at that, I guess. Like I usually didn't speak like very fast, so I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm kind of excited, so I'll leave it at that, I guess.
Okay, thank you, Yasinta. So good job, good job.
Okay.
So the emoji translator is actually a very good job. Even I have been told recently. I was told that I message like a 50-year-old old lady. I was told that recently. So maybe I need an emoji translator.
So I could stand in for you and translate your message into emojis. I mean, if you're willing to pay for it, that is.
I will count you in. I will contact you. So
Okay,
great
okay.
job.
So I got my job, I guess. I qualified the list.
Okay. So you did a really great job as well. And something I appreciated in what you said was compared to the other people who spoke, you took less time. Okay, you took less time, but you still conveyed what you wanted to say. That's also really interesting and a good point to have. It can be very important in certain situations. So great job. And next we will have Vishwa.
I'll be turning on my camera.
Okay, so who are you going
Okay,
to
I
be?
hope I'm audible.
Yes,
I'm Anton Vishwa, and I'm applying for the post of ice cream flavor creator. And as to why I'm applying is because I've always been an ice cream flavor creator since I was a kid, and it's something that I have a great passion for. I was recently fired from Ben and Jerry's for being too creative and having too many ice cream ideas. So it's their loss, I guess. And as for some of my creations, I've brought with me a few samples, 4 of my samples. The first one is, of course, one of my favorites. It's called the Kottu flavored ice cream, which is it's pretty self-explanatory. Ice cream that's flavored like kottu. And in the same line, I have my pizza flavored ice cream and my rice and curry flavored ice cream. So these 3 come under my lunch ice cream flavors, which went pretty well in Ben and Jerry's. But for some reason, I don't know why, they thought it wasn't good enough. They said it was not well paired with ice cream. So improving on that, I brought on to my most recent flavor of ice cream, which is ice cream flavored ice cream. So it looks like one type of ice cream, but it tastes like another type of ice cream. So I don't know why they fired me, but as you can see, I'm pretty creative, and therefore I'm pretty sure I'll be a valuable asset to your team. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you.
Okay, thank you, Vishwa. Anyway, I'm not gonna hire you anyway. I hate your ice cream line, by the way. I'm a very conservative person. I believe that sweet things need to be sweet, and savory things need to be savory. I'm very conservative that way, but great job. Your pitch was really good, and I'm pretty sure that someone who's not like me will definitely hire you. So a really great thing you did was you talked about your past experience in, I'd say that you talked about your industrial experience. I know this doesn't really relate to the topic, but still, that was really good. And now we have Uma.
Yeah, I'm Uma, and am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm Uma. I'm currently studying in Faculty of Medicine, and I would like to apply to the job group project conflict mediator. And I'm someone who is really like to listen and always accept what others say. So also at the same time, I'm a person who love to create opportunities through my weaknesses. So as a person who is anxious and panicking all the time, so I would like to create opportunities through those weaknesses. So I joined Gavel Club also for that, and as for this and of Ruhuna, and then so I'm applying to this job because I find it passionate to talk with people and interact with people. And being an introvert makes me more capable of listening to others rather than talking all the time. And also, I'm currently working with my group members in the faculty as a group leader. So I find myself really talented in coping everyone's ideas. And also when something arises within the group as a conflict, so I can explain everybody what the the 2 people who got together in the conflicts, they had different ideas of sharing their thoughts and showing them what they misunderstood in the situation or the scenario. So also it's I find myself as a good person who like accepting people's opinions and also understanding the point of view they look at the situation. So and also as a past experience, I would like to share that in my school when I was during my A-levels, I was a prefect in the school, so I had to tackle with a situation where different schools got together and 2 schools got into a conflict, the 2 prefects boards of 2 schools. So I really managed it well to manage the conflict, manage the situation, and make a peaceful environment within the event. And so I would like to tell you that I would be a great asset for your company or the job, and then I will try my best to get the opportunities to bring about the best in the situation, and hope to work friendly with everybody else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Uma. So you definitely sound like a good conflict mediator. I'm sure you're very good at your job. So great pitch, by the way. And you stuck as well with the structure that we gave. That's really good. And I want to mention only one small thing. So I noticed that you dragged on your whole speech a little bit. So it's okay for this because we don't have any time limit or anything, but sometimes you will have a time limit, most probably you will in a practical scenario. So just be aware of that. So sometimes when that happens, when we tend to ramble on, we say one thing and we say, okay, I can do this and I can do this and sometimes we tend to go on like that, and it might not necessarily be productive to what we are trying to achieve. So yeah, be a little conscious about your time as well. So I have to be conscious about my time here today as well. So we'll end this session with Situm. Did you speak, Situm? Situm, you have your hand raised. Did you speak? Oh,
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lower that. I spoke it earlier.
sorry,
Uh,
you're not audible.
I spoke earlier,
Ah,
but
okay, sure.
I forgot to lower my hand. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So yeah, I guess that's all the volunteers we have today. And I'm sure we could have taken some more, but we have an even more interesting session coming up. So thank you for being very interactive today. And before I end, I'm just going to repeat the 4 points that I mentioned earlier. So whenever you're going to do a speech, whenever you're going to go and present something in an evaluation or a meeting, always consider, why am I here? Who is my audience? What are the most important things that I have to say? And what is the structure that I am going to follow? So keep those 4 things in your head and you are definitely going to do a better job. So yeah, that's it. And it's over to you, Faishala.
Right. Thank you, Gv.Ravisha, for conducting that very informative, interesting, and interactive session. Even though we are going to do an interactive session here afterwards as well. Uh, I mean, it was very fun to follow along. I think you did a great job with that, and I think a lot. All of us here learned something or refreshed their memories about something they have already learned about public speaking. It was the framework that you provided is going to be very useful for everybody who's here to sort of gather their thoughts and structure them well. And I hope that it will help them to stop rambling and get to the point sooner. Uh, yeah. And what do I say? Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and conducting this session in this workshop. Uh, arigatou gozaimasu. All right. Let's move on to the interactive session. Okay. For context, arigatou gozaimasu is thank you very much in Japanese. For guys who don't know that. Uh, yeah, let's move on to the interactive session. And to conduct the interactive session, Gavelier Dinet from the engineering faculty will be joining us. Gavelier Dinet, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hi guys. I'm Dinak. Wait, can you guys hear me?
I think. Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. So hi guys, I am Gavelier. I guess I am a second year in the engineering faculty, and I will be helping Peshla do the interactive session. I am basically the person he kidnapped off the streets to do this. So, yeah.
Um, okay. Thank you for exposing me, Janet. I was not expecting that. You know, I expect cooperation, not betrayal in this workshop.
You will get both. Don't worry.
All right. All right. So, in this interactive session, we have something similar to what you guys did earlier as well. Uh, so, we will be giving you guys scenarios. Okay. There's going to be a few scenarios that we have come up with, and we are going to give you guys 3 points regarding each of these scenarios. And what you guys have to do is build up a story or add to those points that we have already given you and come up with a story or narrate a story or deliver a speech about this scenario.
I
You
don't
know,
really have the
you
drive it, Anton. Fucking envy him for that, but I'll try my best. Okay. So there goes on a rainy day.
okay,
Jacinta,
Very
Jacinta, unmute.
extremely rainy day. Midsummer scene.
Jacinta,
She was like, oh, am I unmuted? Okay. Fuck.
yeah.
So the points that you were talking about, like, so I have to make up a story based on what you were gonna say. I wasn't listening. I was like preoccupied with something else. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Jacinta, you can wait because we have not still gotten to the part where we like show you the slides, so you can wait
Okay.
until the slides are revealed. Right? Okay. Jacinta is very proactive. That's not
That
bad.
is
That's
on my
very good.
credit, I guess.
Yeah. Wait till we explain this and reveal the
I'll mute myself.
scenarios. All right. So what you have to do is come up with a story or narrate a story the surrounding these 3 points that we are going to give you. All right. So feel free to come up, be creative with this. There's no limitations to what I mean. There are limitations to what you can and cannot say. Usually in Gavel and Gavel workshops, we do not talk about sex, politics, or religion. So avoid talking about those three, and you can be as much as creative as you want to be. All right, Dinet, shall we reveal the first scenario?
Yes, we shall.
Over to you to introduce this
Okay,
scenario.
so we have our first scenario, which is, let's go to our first point, which is I was in the canteen. So in this scenario, you are basically in the canteen, who knows not what, you can spin it however you want. Second point, I overheard a group of people talking about me. Now, again, this is as the point says, it's just people talking about you. We don't know what it is. We don't know what they're talking about. You can guess and spin it however you want. And finally, we have I quietly went closer and listened to them. What are they talking about? What are they whispering about? What is the subject of the topic? Why are they talking about you? So it's up to you to figure out this story, whether it's a happy ending, sad ending, emotional, whatever you want. Just spin it however you want. Just remember those times. Over to you guys.
Yeah, you don't have to speak for a long time. 1 minute is more than enough. 1.5 minutes. Actually, you can even speak shorter than that. It's fine. There's no time limit. What matters is you come up with the structure and you come up with a story to sort of round these points up. And uh, before we do that, can we take the screenshot? Vinay. Dear, you'll have to stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Uh, can you guys turn your cameras on for like 30 seconds so we can get a nice view of your
Everyone is
smiling
being
faces?
very shy today, right?
Yeah. Um. Dinit, can you take the picture?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let me see all of your smiling faces. You know. or you can show your angry faces as well. It's fine, show your natural reactions. You don't need to, cover up your natural reactions just to look nice in the picture. If that's right, Dinit, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, on
Okay.
your count.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, let me check. Yeah, let's go. So, thank you very much.
All right, getting back to our scenario.
Okay.
Who would like to narrate a story regarding this scenario?
Oh, I guess I'll go.
Okay, Jacinta. You can start narrating your story. Over to you.
So there I was at the canteen, like I usually am, because the food there is like very cheap, and I'm probably the cheapest person you'll ever meet when it comes to most things. And then I suddenly heard a group of girls talking about me. Okay, so I listened in closely to see what they were saying, and they were like, "Ane, like konde wando, and they were like very extremely jealous of my hair or something. I didn't really come up with a story for this, but that is where it ends. But like see, like look at my luscious hair. I don't have my camera on, but it is like very, very long. It used to be even longer. I think Dinet would know. So that is where the story would end. I think I'm sorry for making it very disappointing, but I wasn't paying attention, seriously. That is it.
No, that is a good story, Jacinta. I did not really expect it to go in that direction, and
Okay.
And listen, as someone who's had long hair in the past, I completely get it. Like
Okay, you
people tend to
understand me
talk
then,
about
don't
it.
you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I obviously get it. Some people just tend to get jealous of your luscious.
Exactly like I was saying.
I can relate to both
Yeah,
you guys.
I want photos.
Sorry, Ravisha.
Wait, my long hair.
Yeah, if you've had
I don't
long hair,
think
I want
I
pictures.
I'll send it later. I can't do it now.
I also had long hair at one point, and I could tie a small like a ponytail kind of thing, very small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Ravisha can remember. Yeah, those were hilarious times. People. I mean, my hair was very messy, and my hair was not luscious either. So I looked ridiculous back then, I think. Anyways,
Honestly,
yeah.
honestly, I also had curly hair, so it was like it was basically an afro. Like that, I tried to style it into like straight hair. It was had mixed results.
I mean, thinking back about those stuff, it's I don't regret my decisions about like growing out my hair, because at some point in your life you have to do it. Otherwise you would never know how you would look with long hair.
Yeah.
I don't think girls can relate to this, guys.
Before
You
you
have to
go
try it at
bald,
some point.
might as well grow it out, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll move on to the next scenario and we'll come back to it if someone wants to talk about it. So, if you guys want to talk about this scenario after we move on to the next one, you can ask us to no, you don't have to ask us, just tell us that you want to talk about scenario one and we can come back to this. All right, what do we have next, Diret?
Okay, this is scenario 2. The first point is I went to watch a movie. So basically, you are probably at the cinemas and you just went to watch this newest movie that came out, probably, Deadpool and Wolverine. I watched it. It's really good. So let's think of a scenario like that. Second point is my seat was behind a group of girls. So kind of similar to the previous one. There's a bunch of girls in front of you. Now let's see what the third one says. Some of them were talking loudly. Some of them were using the phones. Now, this is something that I am familiar with. I have been in this situation many times, and I want to hear all of your thoughts on this and hopefully make a really good story about this situation. something that maybe validates my feelings on this particular situation.
Okay, then.
So yeah,
Okay.
over to you guys.
In these kind of situations, would you ask them to shut up?
Yes.
Would you? All right. You didn't even take a second to
Absolutely.
think about it.
Absolutely.
You know what? I
Jesus
went to
Christ,
watch.
like
Yeah, there. Go ahead.
continue. No, you go ahead.
So I went to watch Dune 2. Okay. I was really excited to go watch this movie, and sorry, and the guys in front of me were talking throughout the whole movie. I was there with my sister. You know what? I was holding in my urge to pee for about 45 minutes, and these guys couldn't respect the movie enough to shut up and listen to what was going on. I was so annoyed. And Hans Zimmer's
It's
like composition is going like in the background. It's all nice stuff. The dialogue is superb. Actors are doing their thing, and these guys are talking. These guys are, oh, nice, this and that. So annoying.
I went to watch Godzilla, and there was this Tatya in front of me on like this, I don't know, business call or something, just loudly jabbering and jabbering. I like lost my mind. Like,
No,
for
these
the love
people
of
don't
God.
have any respect for anybody else, right?
Yeah.
So annoying. Guys, if you are like
So,
this, you guys need to get
yeah.
I don't know, medical checkup done. You might be a psycho.
So if you guys have similar stories, you can speak up right now.
Yeah. Come up with a story. Tell us what you would do
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be true. Just your what you would do in that situation.
Yeah. You're waiting for you.
May I?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. So I don't have much to tell regarding this, but there is one thing I do when stuff like that happens. I don't usually speak up until it's like too annoying. But what I do is I dream up mental scenarios where I just beat the crap out of them. Uh, yeah, that's something I do. I do speak up when it gets too annoying, but as long as it's not too disturbing, that's what I do.
Okay. I mean, I think I would do the same. I wouldn't like sort of barge or sort of like, raise my voice at them unless if it is too unbearable. But I don't know. I just have yeah, there.
Usually what I do is just a simple shh. Like, come on. Just
It works, right? But here's the thing, dude.
Yeah.
If it's a group of guys, it probably wouldn't work,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't work if it's a group of guys and you're alone. I mean, there's
I
kind of
know,
an
but it's
authority
just
dynamic there, right? But I mean, we have to
yeah, there
actually
is.
try, right?
Yeah. But the mental image thing, that also I completely get, because so you can't
Yeah.
really do something. You just gotta like picture yourself like just beating the hell out. Because it doesn't
I
hurt
mean,
anyone, and it's only in your head.
yeah. I mean, if you're a really buff dude with like tie up sort of like huge arms and all that, you could probably get away with shushing other people, or shushing a group of people. But
Okay, to be fair, I shush and then I just like duck down because I
oh, you could also look
I don't
around to see who shushed
yeah.
you guys or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
But
guys.
yeah,
Don't take our advice and go around shushing people because you might get
yes,
beaten up.
yeah, because listen, I'm not someone you should be taking like advice from. Okay,
Yeah. We get in trouble in a day on a daily basis, so our
yes.
advice is pretty bad. All right, let's move on to scenario number 3. I think some people will find this interesting.
So scenario number 3, I was hitching a ride on a dragon's back. Now this isn't your realistic kind of story. This is kind of a fantasy kind of thing. So you're just, riding, hitching a ride. You're basically just riding on a dragon's back, flying through the skies, something like that. Secondly, I was distracted by a princess or a prince in a tower below me. Now, you know us. Sometimes we see a beautiful girl, beautiful boy. We sometimes tend to get a little distracted, as seems to have happened here as well. And thirdly, a bird struck me and I fell off. And that's what you get when you get distracted by beautiful people. Because, just remember to keep it realistic. Just be aware of your surroundings a little bit. But that is the scenario we have at hand. I'm hoping you guys can come up with a really good, beautiful story as to how this will continue, whether you fall to your death or do you survive, or so how it happens. So over to you guys.
Yeah, then that's exactly what happens when you're distracted, by beautiful
Yep.
people. A bird
Yep.
comes and strikes you. That's exactly what happens.
Doesn't-
It's a very usual,
It
it's a
doesn't.
very usual thing.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be a bird, but things can happen. Gavelier Sharka, would you like to give your thoughts on this? Sharka? Sharka, you raised your hand, but okay. Is there anyone else who would like to give a story about this scenario?
Come on, people.
It's very fantasy-like also. You can take it you can spin it in a very good, very creative way. So
I'd like to hear from the girls in the audience. Come on.
Oh yeah, we didn't have
Girl
any girls
power,
volunteer.
go.
now there was one girl, patient.
Yeah.
Okay,
One or two girls.
okay.
Yeah,
My
Yeah,
bad.
patient.
everyone.
Okay, patient. Okay. Yeah, patient. Showing your true colors.
My bad. My bad. Anyways, we need more girls representation here because
Yeah.
the workshop has been dominated by guys, other than Ravisha, who did half of the workshop.
Yeah, I did the majority of speaking, so.
But on the volunteer side, it's dominated by guys.
Hmm.
So girls,
We
reclaim
have
your
a
power.
reputation to uphold, right?
Sorry, Ravisha.
No, I just said that we have a reputation to uphold.
Yes, yes. Usually, gavel clubs are sort of run by girls in universities. So,
Yeah.
girl power. Come on, guys, let's volunteer. Let's
Yeah.
let's have some fun with this, shall we? I mean, in a fantasy setting, your imagination can run wild, right? Anything can happen and anything is possible. There are no limits. So yeah, this is sort of a scenario with
Riding is
unlimited
classic
options.
fantasy, right?
Sorry, Ravisha.
Dragon riding, it's like classic fantasy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I had the brilliant idea of coming up with this scenario, and you, you, you guys are sort of letting me down here, aren't you? So come
Yeah.
on, let's volunteer.
Patient worked really hard to come up with these.
Okay, Dinesh, let's not go further. Let's stop with the compliment, right? Okay.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll try to insult you further from in the future.
Shahrukh, do you wanna? Oh,
No,
all right. He
I
doesn't
don't.
feel well. Okay, shall we move on to the next scenario then?
Yeah, we can come back to this.
Am I
Oh,
am I
oh yeah,
audible,
Shahrukh.
guys?
Yeah.
Shahrukh, are you well?
Yes,
Did you get better?
very hard for me to talk about. No, really. It's really hard for me to talk this way, guys. Sorry. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would, I mean, man, how much out of this, how to, I mean, yeah. I would not go there. So thank you. I mean, yeah, sorry for that.
Shahrukh, get better. Get well soon. I thought you got better. All right. Next, who do we? Oh, we'll go to the next scenario.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah. All right. Scenario number 4. I was going home after a month from university. So you know how you guys are new to uni. You guys are new to uni life, but you must have, experienced just being there for a long period of time and then going home after like a month. So it's that kind of situation here. I fell asleep in the train or the bus. So you know how when you're traveling far, you tend to get tired and sleepy. So you think, okay, well, I'll just rest a little bit in wherever I'm, the train or the bus or wherever I am. And thirdly, excuse me, I woke up to someone shouting, "That person is taking your bag." So yeah, in this scenario, you are basically getting robbed of your belongings while you were asleep, and someone just woke you up and is shouting at you that that person took your things. So how would this story continue from here on, in your perspective? Would you like to share your thoughts on this? Come on, guys. Just like your just what you feel like you would do in this situation, thoughts like that. It'd be very appreciated if you can uh speak about this kind of thing. Speak about this.
Okay, we do have a volunteer here.
Oh, okay. Anton Vishwa.
Yeah. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I was going home after a month from university, and I fell asleep in the train. And I woke up to someone shouting, "That person is taking your bag." And I was like, "Bruh, who's the idiot who's letting their bag get stolen on a train?" And then I reach in to like take my water bottle out of my bag, and I'm like, "Oh wait, I'm that idiot. It's me who's getting my bag stolen." And I stand up and I look around and I see someone running with something that looks like my bag. So I run through and we jump train carts over and over until we get to the last one. And then I tap on his shoulder. I'm like, "Dude, what's the deal? Why are you stealing my bag?" And then he turns around and it turns out it was one of my friends and he was doing it as a prank. And you can't see me, but I'm putting air quotes uh, around the word prank. So I'm like, is this really a prank or is this harassment at this point? And so I got my bag back and I went back and I sat down and I never spoke to him ever again. Thank you.
Thank you, Anton, for your story. That is not a prank. That is just straight up that is just what it's criminal.
Yeah, it's abuse of friendship, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, my point exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, if you think about this stuff in this day and age, pranks have gone way too far. People
Yeah.
have run away with this word prank, and they are actually harassing and abusing people, and claiming that they are pranks. So, yeah.
And it doesn't help when you have these like social media influencers, promoting these kind of pranks,
Oh yeah, prank influences, right? Like a
Yeah,
whole genre of influencing.
I hate pranking YouTubers. I can't find any joy in
Oh my
watching
God, I'm
those.
so surprised that they have not been shot because most of these guys are in USA, right?
Yeah.
And they carry guns around.
Like this, I mean, this is one guy in Japan, like who does like pranking videos over there, and those guys are like very strict about those kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm pretty sure he's like facing jail time, and
Oh yeah, I saw something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and I have seen a couple of scenarios where people have actually gotten shot because of their pranks. In those
Yeah.
in one scenario, I think this guy was staging a prank where this guy is getting robbed at gunpoint or something like that, and this person who is getting sort of attacked in the prank pulls out his gun and shoots the guy who's doing the prank, and the guy dies. So yeah, things that like that have actually happened.
So
And
moral of the story, keep like it's fine to do like fun pranks and all that, but just make sure to like have a limit on them. Just make
oh
sure
yeah,
who you're doing this on.
Yeah. Keep your pranks fun and light.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to scenario number 5 because we have like 5 more minutes to go.
Okay. This one. So our last scenario for the day is I was living a peaceful life. Like no trouble, nothing like that. No trouble, nothing, just quiet and all that. And then I said, and maybe to who, don't know who, close personal friend or the general public, I said that I was sure the world is not flat. So now, for context, this scenario is taking place. It is taking place in the medieval times, like centuries past the present. So, like back when your knights and castles and all that existed in Europe, right? Yeah. So that is the kind of situation we're looking at. And the third and final point is the villagers got together, accused me of being a witch, and tried to burn me at the stake. So you are basically going to be burned alive because you technically said something that is the truth, but people back then didn't understand that it was the truth and believed some other things. And so they think that you're just some witch and just, like, want to kill you. How would you handle this situation? Over to you guys.
Back then, especially females, even if they dared to think about something, they would be, labeled as
Yes.
witches and burnt at the stake.
Yep.
Those are very fun times, I guess. Every weekend, people gather around and burn the witches that they have collected over the weekdays.
Back then, science was like basically non-existent.
Yeah.
You can't come up with anything new. It's like everything was already like fixed.
If you're dared to think, you'd be burnt at the stake.
What
Have
would
you?
what would you guys do if you were in this situation? If you were being like told to burn alive? If you were being tried to burn alive because you said something that is the truth. But people are
Would
too
you?
stupid to understand.
Would you try to fight against the mobs? Would you try to make them understand? Would you do a theoretical proof about how the world is round and all that stuff? What would you do? Would you give in and just let them do whatever they want? What would you guys do? So this is the last scenario we have for this session, and if you guys want to take this chance to speak, this is
Yeah.
sort of like the last chance that you're getting. So speak up and have fun and uh, let your imagination run wild. Let us hear how you would handle this scenario.
Any volunteers? Come on. This will be your last chance to speak today to, implement all the things Ravisha has taught you. It doesn't need to be like complicated or anything. Just give your thoughts on it for like what, 15 to 20 seconds. Doesn't need to be long.
Well, I know I already took my turn, but shall I continue since
Yeah, go right ahead.
yeah. So the most foolproof
Hello,
way
everyone.
I would use in this situation is to accuse someone else of practicing witchcraft, because that's what happened historically. Because if someone is got caught without whatsoever as evidence, you could just point it out and say that someone did it, not me, and they would come after that person. So I could literally accuse my accuser of practicing witchcraft, and that's the most foolproof way to get out of that.
Thank you, Siddhu, for your thoughts. And he's not wrong. That's actually what people did. Like, because when someone gets accused of being a witch, he would just simply say, "No, I'm not the witch. He's the witch." And then there'll be like a back and forth. And I think it would go to like a village council or something. That's what they did.
Yeah, right. I didn't really think about that thing, like accusing the accuser. I have not. That's not something that I have thought about yet. But yeah, that could actually work. Yeah, that could actually work. Or maybe, yeah, you could say that, okay, this person is manipulating on me or something like that. This person is doing black magic and he's making me say these things or something like that. And it would actually work back then. Would have worked. Yeah,
Peshla, have you watched Castlevania? The
I did not.
You did not. Okay,
No.
so basically that show started with a woman being burnt at the stake, but then turned out that woman is also the wife of Dracula, and then Dracula went on this huge genocidal war path. This reminded me of that.
Okay. All right.
So
I
I'm just
think I should watch that.
yeah, basically I'm just saying it's a really good show. It's a cartoon, but really well animated, really good story called Castlevania.
All right.
Hope you guys give that one a try as well.
Okay, thank you, Gavladinus, for that suggestion. I think I will add it to my watch list. I think we are done with the interactive session for this workshop, and some of you guys worked, some of you guys didn't, and that's all right. You always have the next workshop or the next Gavel meeting to volunteer and speak. Basically, these chances are given to you as an opportunity to practice the techniques that you have been taught, or basically implement anything that you have come up with, something like that. This is a safe place where you can practice um, public speaking or effective communication, and build up your confidence little by little, because it takes time to be good at it. It takes time to build up your confidence as well. It's not something that happens over one workshop or one gavel meeting or something like that. It takes continuous practice and continuously putting in effort to get to a decent level. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next session as well, which will be conducted on the 7th of September by another very talented person who will be guys um, guiding you guys in another very important aspect of effective communication and public speaking. And I will hand over the session to our president of the Gavel Club, Gavelier Siumi, to wrap up this session.
Okay, so that was the end of our second session of the Mentor Circle series. So it was really happy to have you all here today. And our special thanks goes to our today's mentor, Gv.Ravisha, for being here today and for guiding all the all undergraduates who were there today for today's session. And thank you so much for that, and hope to see all the participants of today's meeting in the upcoming meetings too. And our next session will be on the 7th of September, right, Vishen? Dinesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 7th.
So it will be on the 7th of September with another topic. So we had the first session on the 31st, and this is the second. And the third will be on the 7th of September. So it's about quick thinking and speaking. So please make sure to join to all these sessions so that you can get a very clear understanding on how to speak well in English. So it's basically that. So if you come and if you attend, the advantage is to you. So, and I would like to thank all the participants and also to the OC of the Mentor Circle for organizing this really well today too, and hope to see some successful sessions in the upcoming weeks too. And this is our OC for the Mentor Circle 2024. And they are the people behind the success of all these sessions today. So thank you. It's a big thank for them from my side. And yes, so it's time to wrap up. So until next week, have a pleasant week to all of you present here today. So thank you for joining and goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.